Discovery and Awakening. The Helios survey vessel drifted silently through the darkness at the very edge of human-explored space. Commander Area Chen stared at the unusual readings on her console, her brow furrowed in concentration. For 3 days, they had been tracking an anomalous energy signature emanating from an uncharted region beyond Proxima Centauri. "Dr. Novak, are you seeing this?" she called to the ship's lead scientist. Dr. Stefan Novak floated over, his lean frame almost weightless in the low gravity of the command deck. His eyes widened as he studied the readings. "It's artificial," he whispered. "No natural phenomenon creates that kind of pattern." The crew of the Helios held their breath as they approached the source of the signal. When they finally saw it through the viewports, disappointed murmurs rippled through the command deck. What they had hoped might be evidence of advanced alien intelligence looked like little more than space junk, a battered, irregular vessel roughly twice the size of their own ship, its hull pockmarked with impact craters and covered in a dull, tarnished metal. "That thing is basically garbage," Lieutenant Commander Jackson remarked, not bothering to hide his disappointment. "Perhaps," Dr. Novak replied, his eyes still fixed on the derelict. "But it's definitely not human garbage, which makes it the most significant archaeological find in human history." Commander Chen made the decision to investigate. After establishing a stable orbit around the abandoned vessel and conducting preliminary scans that detected no immediate threats, she assembled a boarding team. Dr. Novak would lead the scientific contingent, while Security Chief Rivera would oversee safety protocols. Chen herself would command the expedition. The boarding shuttle approached cautiously. Up close, the alien vessel looked even more decrepit. Patches of the hull had corroded completely, revealing glimpses of unfamiliar technology beneath. They identified what appeared to be an airlock, and after several hours of careful work, managed to create an entry point. "Atmosphere is present but thin," Chief Rivera reported as they prepared to enter. "Gravity approximately 0.8 Earth standard. Temperature -15 Celsius. They stepped through the makeshift airlock into darkness. Helmet lights cut through the gloom, revealing a corridor of unfamiliar design. The walls were covered in strange, angular symbols that seemed to shift slightly when viewed directly. The air smelled stale and metallic. "This architecture doesn't match any known design principles," Dr. Novak muttered, his voice filled with excitement as he recorded everything. "The alloys in the hull aren't anything we've cataloged before." They moved deeper into the ship, finding chambers filled with dormant machinery. Most appeared damaged or degraded beyond repair. In what they presumed was a control room, consoles stood silent, their displays dark and lifeless. "This is incredible," Chen said, running her gloved hand over a panel. "But everything seems dead. Whatever powered this ship ran out long ago." As if triggered by her touch, a faint hum began to reverberate through the floor. Lights flickered weakly along the edges of the room. The team froze. "Nobody move," Rivera ordered, his hand moving to his sidearm. A holographic display sputtered to life in the center of the room, projecting incomprehensible symbols that rotated slowly in the air. Then, to everyone's shock, the symbols transformed into recognizable text. "Is that English?" Chen whispered. "Impossible," Dr. Novak replied. "Unless..." The display changed again, showing a sequence of images, stars, planets, and what appeared to be maps of distant systems. The images moved too quickly for the human observers to fully comprehend, but the message was clear. This ship had traveled unimaginably far. Dr. Novak approached one of the consoles, his scientific curiosity overriding caution. "The ship must have some kind of adaptive translation system. It's learning from our communications." He began tentatively pressing what appeared to be controls. "Novak, stop," Rivera warned, but it was too late. The ship shuddered violently. Emergency lights flashed on throughout the vessel, bathing everything in a pulsing red glow. A mechanical voice spoke, the language unfamiliar but somehow conveying urgency. "I think I've activated some kind of emergency protocol. Novak admitted, backing away from the console. Commander Chen grabbed his arm. Everyone back to the shuttle. Now. They retreated hastily, but halfway to the airlock, massive bulkheads slammed shut, cutting off their escape route. The mechanical voice continued its unintelligible announcement, now accompanied by a schematic displayed on every available surface. It showed the ship's systems coming online one by one. "It's powering up," Chen realized. "Whatever we did, we woke it up." Trapped inside the now awakening vessel, the team had no choice but to return to the control room. There, the holographic display had expanded, showing what appeared to be a historical record. They watched in awe as images revealed a vast armada of ships, similar to the one they were on, engaged in what could only be described as warfare on a cosmic scale. "These must be records from whoever built this ship," Dr. Novak said quietly. "Some kind of interstellar conflict." The images shifted to show beings unlike anything humans had encountered. Tall, spindly creatures with iridescent skin and multiple appendages. They appeared to be the ship's creators, shown in various scenes operating the vessel. "The precursors," Dr. Novak whispered, giving the aliens a name. Further images revealed the ship's apparent purpose, not merely transportation, but something far more significant. It appeared to be a weapons platform of unprecedented power, capable of manipulating energy in ways human science had barely theorized. "This isn't just a ship," Chen said, her voice hushed. "It's a superweapon." As this realization dawned on them, a new alert sounded. The external sensors they had placed outside the vessel detected an approaching object, fast-moving, and on a direct intercept course. "Commander," Rivera called urgently. "We have company." On the ship's newly activated screens, they watched as a sleek, predatory vessel decelerated sharply and took up position near the derelict. Its design was entirely different from both human ships and the ancient vessel they stood in. "First contact," Chen breathed. "And we're trapped in the middle of it." The alien ship transmitted a message, a series of mathematical sequences followed by visual imagery that, even without translation, clearly communicated a demand. "Surrender the vessel." "They know what this is," Rivera said grimly, "and they want it." Before Chen could formulate a response, the ancient ship acted on its own. Dormant defense systems activated, targeting the newcomer with weapons that had lain silent for countless millennia. Energy surged through the vessel, temporarily overwhelming its damaged systems and plunging sections into darkness. In that moment of confusion, Dr. Novak made a discovery that changed everything. A secondary control system, hidden behind what they had initially taken for a wall panel, revealed itself. Unlike the main controls, this interface seemed designed for emergency use. Simpler, more direct. "I think this is a manual override," he called to Chen. "If I can just..." He manipulated the controls instinctively, and to everyone's surprise, they responded. The ship's erratic energy flow stabilized. Screens displayed what was clearly tactical information: the approaching alien vessel's capabilities, weaknesses, and optimal targeting solutions. "They're preparing to board," Rivera warned, watching the alien ship extend what appeared to be docking mechanisms. "Not if I can help it," Novak replied. With newfound confidence, he operated the emergency controls. The ancient ship responded, maneuvering with surprising agility for its size and condition. Its weapons powered up, not at full capacity, but enough to pose a threat. The alien vessel hesitated, clearly surprised by the derelict's sudden resurrection. It fired a warning shot, a concentrated energy beam that scored the ancient hull but failed to penetrate its surprisingly resilient armor. "They're testing us," Chen observed. "They don't know how operational this ship really is." "Let's keep it that way," Novak replied. He manipulated the controls again, and the ancient vessel released a pulse of energy, not directly at the alien ship, but in a wide arc that disrupted its sensors. Under this cover, Chen made a decision. "We need to get word back to Earth. Whatever this ship is, whatever its history, humanity needs to know. Using the Helios's communication systems, they transmitted an encrypted message containing everything they had learned so far. As the transmission completed, the alien vessel launched what appeared to be boarding pods. "They're coming," Rivera announced, checking his weapon. "Let them," Chen replied with unexpected calm. "I think I understand what's happening here. This ship was abandoned because it was damaged beyond the original owner's ability to repair. These new aliens have been searching for it. They know its value, but not how to control it." "And we do?" Rivera asked skeptically. "Not completely," Chen admitted. "But the ship seems to be accepting us, adapting to us." As if to confirm her words, more systems came online around them. Displays showed the internal layout of the vessel, highlighting critical systems and damage reports. Most importantly, they revealed the locations where the boarding pods would breach the hull. "It's giving us a fighting chance," Novik realized. The next hours were chaotic. The boarding aliens, stocky, armored creatures with 4 eyes and mandible-like jaws, fought their way through the ancient corridors. But the human team, guided by the ship's systems, managed to stay one step ahead, setting traps and sealing sections to contain the invaders. During this desperate game of cat and mouse, they discovered more about the vessel. Its power source, though diminished, operated on principles that defied conventional physics. Its computational systems seemed almost organic in nature, adapting and learning at an accelerated rate. Most significantly, they found what appeared to be a historical database that, once partially translated, revealed fragments of a devastating truth. The ship had belonged to a civilization that had nearly conquered the galaxy before mysteriously vanishing. The boarding aliens were descendants of a species that had once been subjugated by the ship's creators, now returned to claim their oppressors' technology. "They fear this ship," Novik concluded after reviewing the translations. "But they want its power even more." As they fought to maintain control, the ancient vessel continued its reawakening. Systems that had lain dormant for millennia stirred to life, responding to human commands with increasing precision. It was as if the ship itself was choosing a new crew after eons of abandonment. Finally, when it seemed the boarding party would overwhelm them, Chen made a desperate gamble. Using the partial control they had established, she activated what appeared to be the ship's faster-than-light drive. "We have no idea where this will take us," Rivera warned. "Anywhere is better than here," Chen replied. "And we need time to understand what we found." The ancient engines roared to life, tearing a hole in space-time itself. The alien boarding parties, recognizing what was happening, fled in panic back to their pods. The stars outside blurred as the ship launched itself into the unknown, carrying its human discoverers toward an uncertain future, and carrying humanity's destiny along with it. Transformation and ascendance. 3 months after the Helios expedition's unexpected departure, the ancient vessel emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. Its return caused immediate panic among Earth's defense forces, until Commander Chen's transmission identified them. "This isn't just a find," she reported to the hastily assembled United Earth Council. "It's a game-changer." The ship, now nicknamed Phoenix for its resurrection from apparent death, was moved to a secure orbital facility around Jupiter. Teams of scientists and engineers swarmed over it, marveling at technology millennia beyond human development. Dr. Novik, now heading the research initiative, presented their findings to the Council. The vessel was created by a species we're calling the Architects, based on references in the ship's database. They dominated this region of the galaxy approximately 50,000 years ago, before mysteriously disappearing. "And the hostiles you encountered?" asked Admiral Zhou, head of Earth's defense forces. "The Krell," Chen answered, "former servants of the Architects who've spent millennia searching for remaining technology of their masters. They want the Phoenix desperately, and they know we have it now." The implications were clear. Humanity had suddenly found itself in possession of technology that made it a target. Debates raged across Earth's governments. Some advocated destroying the Phoenix to avoid conflict. Others saw it as humanity's ticket to the stars, and their only defense against the coming storm. "The Krell are coming," Rivera, now promoted to commander, warned the council. "They were tracking the Phoenix when we escaped. It's only a matter of time." In the end, pragmatism won out. Earth would keep the Phoenix, study it, and prepare for inevitable conflict. But there was a problem. The vessel, despite its gradual reawakening, remained severely damaged. Critical systems functioned at minimal capacity, and others remained completely offline. That's when Dr. Eliza Patil entered the picture. A brilliant systems engineer with unconventional ideas, she had been studying the Phoenix's operational architecture with growing excitement. "We've been approaching this all wrong," she announced during a research briefing. "We're treating the Phoenix as an alien artifact to be preserved and studied. We should be treating it as a platform to be enhanced." Her proposal was radical. Don't just repair the Phoenix. Transform it by integrating human technology with its advanced systems. Create a hybrid vessel that combined architect design principles with human innovation. "The Phoenix's systems are adaptive," she explained. "They're already interfacing with our technology, learning from it. We can accelerate that process, creating something neither species could have built alone." Despite significant opposition, project integration began. Under Patil's direction, teams of engineers worked to merge human quantum computing systems with the Phoenix's semi-organic processors. They reinforced the damaged hull with experimental carbon lattice materials, stronger than anything humanity had previously developed, but inspired by the architect design principles. Most ambitiously, they began to understand and modify the weapon systems. The Phoenix had been created as a devastatingly effective weapon platform, capable of manipulating energy fields in ways that made conventional defenses useless. Human scientists couldn't fully comprehend the theoretical principles, but they could enhance and focus the existing systems. 6 months into the integration process, long-range sensors detected multiple Krell vessels entering the outer solar system. Earth had expected this, but not so soon, and not in such numbers. They brought a fleet. Admiral Joe informed the emergency council session. "Our conventional defenses won't hold against that many ships." All eyes turned to Patil. "Is the Phoenix ready?" "No," she admitted. "We've made progress, but complete integration will take months more." "We don't have months," Chen said grimly. "We need to use what we have." The decision was made. The Phoenix, still undergoing transformation, would be humanity's primary defense. A crew was hastily assembled, Chen in command, with Novik, Rivera, and Patil as her key officers, supported by the best specialists Earth could provide. As the Krell fleet approached Mars, the Phoenix moved to intercept. The hybrid vessel now looked distinctly different from when it had first been discovered. Sections of the hull gleamed with new materials, while others retained the ancient, scared appearance of the original. Inside, human technology had been seamlessly integrated with architect systems, creating an operational environment unlike anything seen before. "They're hailing us," Rivera reported as the Phoenix took position between Earth and the approaching fleet. Audio only. The message needed no translation. The harsh, clicking language of the Krell conveyed unmistakable menace. "They're demanding we surrender the vessel," Novik translated, having spent months studying the language fragments in the Phoenix's database. "They say it belongs to them by right of." "I think the closest translation is inheritance." "Tell them," Chen replied calmly, "that possession is 9/10 of the law." The response was immediate and violent. The lead Krell vessels opened fire, energy weapons lashing out across the void. The Phoenix's shields, a hybrid system combining architect field technology with human deflector designs, absorbed the initial barrage, but alarms blared throughout the ship. "Shield integrity at 70%, reported Lieutenant Park from the tactical station. "Their weapons are more advanced than we anticipated." "Return fire," Chen ordered. "Targeted disabling shots only." Let's show them what we can do without destroying them. The Phoenix's weapons activated, firing precision bursts that disabled the propulsion systems of 2 Krell vessels. The display of accuracy seemed to give the remaining ships pause. "They're regrouping," Rivera observed, changing formation. "They didn't expect us to have this much control over the Phoenix," Paddle said, monitoring the integrated systems. "They thought they were facing amateurs with a weapon they couldn't use." The Krell attack resumed with new tactics, spreading out to attack from multiple vectors. The Phoenix responded admirably, its human-enhanced systems predicting attack patterns and adjusting shields accordingly. But the strain on the partially completed integration was showing. Power fluctuations rippled through the vessel as overtaxed systems struggled to maintain cohesion. "We can't keep this up indefinitely," Patel warned, her fingers dancing across control interfaces as she rerouted power. "The integration isn't stable enough for sustained combat." As if hearing her words, a massive surge disrupted the Phoenix's weapons array. The Krell, sensing weakness, pressed their advantage. 3 of their largest vessels moved into formation, combining their firepower into a devastating beam that struck the Phoenix directly. "Hull breach, sections 7 through 12, Rivera reported urgently. "Emergency containment holding, but we've lost primary power to the starboard quadrant." Chen made a split-second decision. "Dr. Patel, activate the Ascension Protocol." Novak looked up sharply. "Commander, that system is purely theoretical. We have no idea what will happen." "We're out of options," Chen replied grimly. "Do it." The Ascension Protocol had been discovered in the Phoenix's deepest database, an emergency system designed to channel the vessel's entire power reserve into a single coordinated function. The architects had apparently used it as a last resort, and the human engineers had worked to adapt it without fully understanding its potential. Patel hesitated only briefly before entering the command sequence. Throughout the Phoenix, systems began shutting down as energy was diverted to the core. The lights dimmed, artificial gravity fluctuated, and non-essential interfaces went dark. "What's happening?" Rivera demanded as the tactical display flickered and died. "Everything is being channeled into the core processor," Paddle explained, watching in fascination as energy readings climbed beyond predicted parameters. "The Phoenix it's reconfiguring itself." Outside, the Krell vessels continued their assault, but something extraordinary was happening to the Phoenix. The areas where human technology had been integrated began to glow with an internal light. The ship's hull seemed to ripple, as if becoming fluid, before resolidifying in a slightly altered configuration. The damage from the Krell attack began to repair itself, molecular bonds reforming at an accelerated rate. Inside, the command interfaces transformed. Holographic displays expanded, showing not just the surrounding space, but seeming to peer into dimensions beyond normal perception. The crew watched in awe as the tactical display reactivated, now showing vulnerabilities in the Krell ships that had been invisible before. "The integration," Patel whispered. "It's complete. The Phoenix has finished what we started." Chen didn't waste the opportunity. "Target those weakness points. Minimal force. We want to disable, not destroy." The Phoenix responded with precision that hadn't been possible minutes earlier. Focused energy beams struck the Krell vessels at exactly the right points to disable weapons and propulsion without causing catastrophic damage. Within moments, the attacking fleet hung motionless in space, crippled but intact. "They're hailing us again," Rivera reported. This time, when the Krell commander appeared on screen, there was no mistaking the emotion in its 4 eyes. "Fear. You have awakened the world ender." The translator rendered its clicking speech. "The architect's final vengeance." "This isn't about vengeance," Chen replied firmly. "This is about survival, yours and ours." What followed was humanity's first formal diplomatic exchange with an alien species, conducted from a position of unexpected strength. The Krell, humbled by their defeat, revealed more of their history. They had indeed been servant species to the architects, used as labor and cannon fodder in ancient wars. When the architects mysteriously vanished, the Krell had sworn to find and control their master's weapons, both for protection and revenge. The Phoenix was not built as a weapon of destruction, Novick explained as he pieced together the newly accessible historical data. It was designed as a siege ship, a vessel capable of creating rather than destroying. The weapon systems were defensive. The truth stunned everyone. The Phoenix's primary purpose had been to establish new civilizations, terraforming planets and seeding them with life. Its adaptive systems had been designed to integrate with indigenous technologies, creating sustainable development pathways unique to each world. The architects weren't conquerors, Novick continued. They were cultivators. They didn't disappear. They evolved beyond physical form. The Phoenix wasn't abandoned. It was left for whoever came next. The implications transformed humanity's understanding of both the vessel and their place in the galaxy. The Phoenix hadn't chosen them randomly. It had been waiting for a species with the right balance of technical skill and cooperative potential. In the years that followed, the Phoenix became the centerpiece of a new era for humanity. With its fully integrated systems, it served as both explorer and diplomat, establishing contact with dozens of species throughout the nearby star systems. The knowledge gleaned from its databases accelerated human development by centuries, particularly in sustainable energy, medicine, and environmental restoration. Most importantly, it helped forge the Galactic Concord, an alliance of species dedicated to mutual development and defense. The Krell, after initial resistance, eventually joined as well, their ancient grievances giving way to new possibilities. Commander Chen, who remained the Phoenix's captain until her retirement, often reflected on the irony of their discovery. What had initially appeared to be space junk, a derelict weapon of a vanished empire, had transformed not just itself, but humanity's entire destiny. We didn't just find a ship, she would tell new crew members during their orientation. We found a philosophy. The Phoenix taught us that true power doesn't come from destruction, but from integration, bringing different elements together to create something greater than the sum of its parts. And as the hybrid vessel continued its journey among the stars, that lesson remained at the heart of its mission. Transformation through cooperation, strength through diversity, and power through understanding. What aliens had abandoned, humans had not just salvaged but elevated, creating a beacon that would guide civilization for generations to come.